Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are smack dab in the middle of April, maybe, or April. Oh my gosh, January. um, with all this cold weather, I think I'm wishing it was April. No, it's January, and we are in the middle, maybe a little towards the end. And so I'm excited. Your students are working really hard on their argumentative units. This coming week, they will start to sort of refine their skills in sixth grade, and then actually start to pick their topic at the end of this coming week, which is the 23rd through the 27th. Seventh and eighth graders, they've actually already started this week picked their topic, and are starting to research it, and they'll be starting to write it also. So as always, Google Classroom, you want to pretty much everything you need is going to be in there. This is my teacher page, but the biggest thing is additional resources. You know, there's some nasty bugs going around, and of course, still COVID. So if your student is out, especially for an extended period of time, you know, more than a day, less than a week, that kind of thing, your first place you want to go, actually, no matter how long they're absent, the first place you want to go is day-to-day agenda, because it's going to tell them everything that we did. And like I have been showing you, I've been much more precise in saying exactly where things are, putting examples and images of what we're doing in the work so that they can see, so that they and you can see what we did, so it's easier to go find it. And then of course my YouTube channel. Okay, so this video is for the 23rd through the 27th. So let's go ahead and jump into our agenda for sixth grade. So the sixth graders are going to, on the 23rd through the 27th, they're going to be doing their Start Strongs or their mini lessons on fixing quotes. And so there'll be some that are like, there's an issue with the formatting, and then others, I think it'll be all formatting, because this week we've been looking at topic sentences, then they'll be looking at formatting, and then I think we're looking at actual arguments and auditing the arguments. So formatting of quotes. On Monday, they will also write a short answer response based on 2 articles that they read on Friday. So a short answer response, or a SAR. So basically they will be using so here's the quotes. Again, this is a smushed page. They'll have a good version of this, but this is something that you can just go, oh, okay, that's what it's going to look like. If my student was absent, we need to go find this. And then the short answer response, again, this is a smushed version. They will have a regular version assigned to them, one that is easy to read, but they write their thesis statement, which is a concession, thesis, reason. And that is one of the big things they have to do in argumentative writing, is acknowledge the other side of the argument. And so that's the concession. So although cats might be cute, comma, dogs are better pets, that's my thesis. And then the reasons, this is all one sentence. So dogs are better pets because, and then I give 3 reasons. Because they will protect your house, because they actually like you, because they won't scratch you. Period. So all of that would be one sentence. And as for any of my grammar junkies out there, this would be the concession would be a dependent clause. The thesis is a clause, and then the reasons would actually be, I would like them to have 3 reasons always, separated by commas. And it starts with the reasons start with a fanboy conjunction, coordinating conjunction, or because, which is pretty common. Whereas the concession, because it's a dependent clause, will start with a subordinating conjunction, which, if that's not your thing, don't worry about it. That said, your students have lists of these things, and we're talking about that. But if you need to help them, ask them to pull up their lists. Okay, and then they go into their evidence, which are basically like their body paragraphs. This is going to turn into their body paragraphs on the essay. So we're just practicing and getting ready. So they start with a claim, then their evidence, reasoning, transition, and another reasoning. So I've been building and building and building. The first time they did this, they just did they list 3 reasons here, but I only made them explain 1 reason down here. This time I'm having them add in a transition word and another reason. Just again, we're just building towards the essay. Anything that's bold down here, they actually need to go find a sentence starter. And again, they have all of that. just show you in their, they have it on paper, but that does not help them at home. So they also have it in their student workbook, which is right here. So on slides 11, 12, and 13, they will use this a ton. So here's their subordinating conjunctions. Here's their fanboys or coordinating conjunctions, of course, because, and then here's how they introduce a claim. Here's ways to introduce evidence, and here are ways to introduce reasoning. So yeah, that's all of they'll be doing that. And again, that they'll be writing this on an article about should recess ever be taken away and is suspension useful? So they get to pick. Everyone kind of speaks to them. And then on the 24th and the 25th, they'll have 2 days. We'll practice quotes again. And again, there's what it will look like. So basically we'll do like, this is the first day, this is the second day, this is the third day, right? So they have to just find the issues with the quotes that are wrong and figure out which quote is correct. Let's see. They will edit and revise their short answer response as necessary. Some of them may not need to. If they don't, they will have them time to work on membing. And then we'll start talking about logical fallacies, and they'll take some notes while I present a slide deck. And okay, so here's another image of the short answer response they did, which will be done hopefully and revising. Those people who don't do it on time won't get to revise. That makes sense. So it'll be imperative that your student does the work for Monday. And then here are the notes on the logical fallacies. Again, all three, these two things, well, actually all of them will be presented to the students in a much better way in their, either in Google Classroom or in their student resource book, which is this thing. And I say exactly where they need to find it all. I just want you guys to be able to see what they're working on. And so logical fallacies, that's like the red herring or the bandwagon. We're not going to do a deep dive on that, although I could teach an entire unit on logical fallacies, but it would really be good use of our time. Doesn't match up with the standards to do an entire unit on it. However, it is really important so that they can identify if they're reading logical fallacies in their research. And then also, I guess, too, that they don't use them in their writing, but it's much more likely that they'll come across it in their research. I want them to know what to look for. Okay, so that's Tuesday and Wednesday. On Thursday, we'll start talking about pronouns. We'll actually just do this for one day, vague pronouns. We've been working slowly through the different types of pronouns. They pretty much get this. They're pretty good on this, but it's one of the main grammar things we cover in 6th grade, pronouns. So there you go. So we'll talk about vague pronouns, have a little worksheet. And then they will do a logical fallacies quiz, which will come to them through Google Classroom, and they will be fine. I don't even think I listed studying for that as homework because they'll be fine. That's all I'm going to say. I am giving an extra credit opportunity where they can do a logical fallacies scavenger hunt. I don't give a ton of extra credit, so extra credit alert. They're going to want to potentially do that. I'll give a due date on that. Basically, it'll probably just be by the time the unit's over, which is like, it'll give them like at least, I think it'll be like 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks by the time they get this. But I'll be really clear on the deadline. The other thing though is that there is like a grading window coming up, but it's just a progress report. But if they want that grade to go on that progress report, obviously they would need to do that before then. But let's see, that's actually pretty okay, maybe. Let's see. Anyways, I'll keep looking for that. Oh yeah, so the 3rd. So yeah, actually it's not that far away. It would be the next Friday. So if they want that on that progress report, they need to get it in before then with time for me to grade it. That said, it's just a progress report, so they can still turn it in for 1 more week. Again, I'll give a due date on that. And then finally, I will, on Friday, they'll actually I'll introduce the performance assessment, which is basically, there's 4 options for their argumentative essay. I am open to other options if students don't like one of these, but the nice thing is that for the 4 options I've provided, I have found credible articles and even a video for each topic, and I have created a guided reading assignment so that they can take their notes in there, and that's like essentially their research. If they want a different topic, they're going to have to do all of their notes on their own and show me them because I'm going to grade those notes. It's just a ton more work. So if they are super passionate about another topic, that is fine. but it is a ton more work for them. So up to them. I'll help them where I can, but basically I provided 4, really interesting topics for them to pick from. They will fill out their assignment sheet, thus committing to a topic, which of course they can always change their topic, but they have to commit because changing is different than just not deciding. And I want them to understand that this is actually going to be quite a lot of work. And if they change, it's a pretty grave issue because they're going to get behind. Just that simple. And they're going to have to do more work at home. I don't give a ton of homework. If they change their topic, they're going to end up with homework. I'm not, so they're going to need to make a commitment. They'll start having time to investigate, which is basically reading the art, like to kind of pick through they'll like look through some of the articles I've selected for each unit. And also they might watch the videos for each topic. Sorry, I shouldn't have said unit, topic. That can kind of help them. Some of them are just, as soon as they hear it, they're going to know what they want to do. And that's fine too. So here's the performance assessment. Again, all of this is in a better format in their packet, which they'll get to Google Classroom. And each opportunity, each topic does offer an opportunity for extra credit, which is basically just going to turn out to be a little bit more extra work and then thus an extra paragraph. So, and if they do that, in order for it to be extra credits, due in the same amount of time, right? It's extra work for extra credit. Okay, so as a reminder, this coming week will be the last week for them to do their 135 minutes of MemBean by Sunday the 29th. I'd really like to see people doing their MemBean. The other thing I'm seeing is people maybe doing all their MemBean in short periods of time, or they're just clicking through. And so they have MemBean gives them a percentage rate of how well they're doing. And I have some students who are doing like 35%, which means they are missing 65% of the words, which is not even a valuable use of their time. So that means they are either on the wrong list, which they're probably not, or they're just probably clicking through and not caring if they miss stuff. And so I have told students that I'm no longer going to accept it unless they get a 70% accuracy on a whole. So maybe talk to your kiddos about that. Maybe take a look at that in their MemBean. All right, I think that's everything. Have an amazing weekend. Bye.